Okay, cool. Let's take a look. The most creative strategy in MDI history. I don't know that much about the MDI. Obviously, like I have done mythics. I have played retail. I think my highest IO score is close to 5,000. So like I've played mythics at a decent level. I know what's good, but I'm not in it in terms of like recent Mythic Plus endeavors, just to give you my perspective. Okay. Absolute God. 5K wasn't that good when I got it. When I got 5K or around 5K, I think it was like 4,600 or something. 5K Hopium. Dude, how do I look this up? Chat, how do I look up my IO score? Is it on Warcraft logs? Every time I say this, people are always like, no, dude. How do I look it up? Oh, it's on Raider IO. Raider IO. Xaryu. When I got it, it wasn't like that good, I don't think. Tychontrius. How do I look it up? Think of it. Oh, I have to go to the season. Shoot. BFA season something. Say 3. 4. 2. BFA season. Can you look up like your best ever somehow? Must be bugged. No, I only played one season. Maybe it was 4. So this one? Yeah, here we go. It's like 5K. Close. This wasn't that good for this season, though. It really wasn't that good. I played one season. It's the only season I've ever played. Chad, it's not that good, dude. Like this season, it was like inflated. But every time I say, oh yeah, I've been around 5K, people are like, lol, hopium, like liar. I'm just like, dude, what? No, we've done it. That's pretty good. No, it's top 500 worldwide. Right, that's not that good compared to like what what we've done in like PvP and stuff. This is very whatever. Anyway, my experience in Mythic Plus, I haven't played since BFA season, whatever that was. Okay, are we all on the same page now? Cool. He's a rank 1 player, guys. Thank you, Yellow Garden. Thank you for defending my honor. Okay, here we go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dratnos, and today we're taking a look at one of the most impressive strategies we've ever seen in the Mythic Dungeon International. Echo found themselves in the lower bracket after being defeated by dogs in an impressive upset.
Okay.
And they therefore had to play Murazun's Rise, a dungeon they'd been hoping to avoid so that they could keep this strategy secret until the global finals. This strategy let Echo set up a wormhole between Morchi's arena and the Time Lost battlefield, using the Infinite Rift Mage's Temporal Loophole ability. This ability causes the Rift Mages to drop a wormhole when they die, which will automatically connect to the location of the previous wormhole. Normally it's hard to get much use out of this, since these enemies all spawn in the same area after the first boss, so you usually end up just creating a few wormholes 30 yards apart from each other.
So I'm just guessing they probably brought one of the mobs to like the last boss and then did like a freaking Tarantino on that ass, right? And then just went like all the way back, and they didn't have to like spend as much time running or something. Or maybe the Demon Hunter kited it because the Demon Hunter has better movement speed. Okay, let's let's watch.
That aren't particularly helpful. To understand how Echo got these Rift Mages to the other parts of the dungeon, we first need to understand how Rift Mages work. There are 4 of them in this area, 2 patrolling and 1 each guarding the entrances to the left and right wings of the dungeon.
Okay.
In order to activate the portals to those wings of the dungeon, both of the Guardian Rift Mages have to be killed. So Echo need to save the patrolling ones to use for their wormholes.
Yeah.
The next problem that Echo had to tackle is that it's impossible to enter the portal on either side of the dungeon while you're in combat. So their entire team went Night Elf for Shadow Meld. The strategy begins with all 5 players DPSing down one of the patrolling Rift Mages.
Cool.
Once it's low on health, all 3 DPS players hit their meld and travel towards the Time Lost battlefield. They then sneak into the boss arena and set up a Warlock Ritual of Summoning. Meanwhile, Xalia has hit his Shadow Meld and run through the portal towards Morchi. Even though Shadow Meld has dropped combat, as a Resto Druid he has both dots and hots that will tick and get him back in combat with the low health Rift Mage. Since he's in combat, he can't stealth, but a nice wild charge gets him safely through to Morchi's arena. Once Xaylia is in position, Now leaps extremely far away from the Rift Mage and any small patrolling enemies he might be in combat with, then hits his own Shadow Meld. The low HP Rift Mage now is only in combat with Xaylia.
So it's gonna run
Most
across.
non-boss enemies have a behavior that pro players call snapping, that they'll use if their current target is out of range or otherwise unreachable. They'll stand around for a couple of seconds while evading any incoming attacks, then teleport or snap to their target, at which point they may
snapped it
also
to the
evade for a few
archer.
more seconds before beginning to behave normally again.
Oh,
Xaylia is ready
wow.
for the initial assault from this enemy, with defensives and healing rolling as it teleports over. Then, once it's done evading, he executes it with the activated ability of Iridol, the Earth's Fury.
Oh my gosh.
And then he accepts his summon to rejoin his DPS players. This drops a
Oh
wormhole
my
connecting the sand area
gosh.
with Morchi's platform, which would already be useful, but now Echo need to set up the critical wormhole to the time-lost battlefield. To do this, Now drops a Sigil of Flame underneath the other patrolling Rift Mage. This ability will get him in combat after a brief delay, and before that happens, Now accepts his summon, which he couldn't do if he was already in combat. Once the Sigil hits, the other Rift Mage will snap over and Echo will be able to cleave it down with the Destroyer. Once the Destroyer dies, there's a wave of 3 mounted enemies. Echo again used Mind Soothe to avoid getting in combat with them while they finish off the Spiteful Shades. The 4 non-tank players hop through the wormhole towards Morchi's room, and Now drops another Sigil of Flame before following, snapping those 3 enemies into Morchi's room and fighting them with the boss, which is almost always a very efficient thing to do.
Jeez.
Once that's done, they again take the wormhole back to the time-lost battlefield and finish the boss encounter there, and then finally head to the end of the dungeon using the normal portals. These sorts of highly technical and innovative strategies are one of the coolest parts of the MDI to me.
Bro.
I personally love seeing teams show off their knowledge of how the game works and come up with outside-the-box ways to speed through the dungeons. But if that's not your thing, then don't worry. The MDI also features nail-biting DPS races, tragic wipes, and thrilling underdog victories.
All right, yeah. So check out the MDI. Dude, if I was a PvEer on retail, I'm not, and I don't plan to be, but if I was, pushing mythic keys is probably what I would do. The creativity in high-end mythics to go quicker and quicker and quicker is so cool. And it's like limitless. It's like, how fast can we do this? Oh, let me think of a strategy that no one's ever thought before. It's just awesome. I would and it's only 5 people. You only have 5 people to gather. Oh, you're a person yourself. You only have to gather 4 people, 4 friends. And if someone has to go, you can replace them. And then you figure out how to get faster and faster keys. It's just, if I was to PvE in 2024, I would be a Mythic Plus player for sure. I don't think I would raid. Like, I don't think I could raid, man. Like retail raiding, I don't know. Not me, bro. Too many people, time investment, like talking. Like, no, let me just try to speedrun this thing. That's pretty badass. That's so much creativity. I think the coolest part to me is the fact that they all played Night Elves for the Shadow Meld to even think about a strategy like this, because you needed to be out of combat. And then to regain combat with HOTS so that it snapped to them. I mean, come on. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Thank you for linking that, man.